Welcome back to the In-Hand Obstacle Training Championships. I'm Becky Amio. Stick around, let me show you what we've been up to in the last few months during winter when I haven't been able to ride. You're not going to want to miss this. So one of the places that it's been safe to hand walk these horses in the pasture is where we keep quite a bit of building material. You know, we're always repairing fences and stuff, so we need to have a lot of poles and railroad ties and fencing materials. And it's kind of scattered, it's chaotic. We're always sorting through it, trying to find the best pieces to rebuild things here on the ranch. And sometimes, it gets kind of left the way it is, and it works out perfectly for using it as obstacle course training for these horses. It's not set up like to stride length or anything. They have to figure out where to put their feet where it is. And this is extremely helpful and beneficial to them because it makes them safer long term. If they can figure out where to put their feet when they're just being hand walked around, they're certainly going to be safer when it comes to riding them. So again, I want to emphasize this isn't really a how-to video. It's more of a this is where we're at video. This is what we've been working on. And this is where Ringo is at in his training. And mostly what I'm interested in is how soft he is on the line, how focused he is as I ask him to walk over these obstacles. How confident does he do what I ask of him? Does he handle distraction well? We're in wide open spaces here, and if he wanted to get after it, he could just leave me if he wanted to. And for folks out there that maybe are afraid or have reservations about riding their horse out in wide open spaces, I encourage you to lead them out into wide open spaces. You might find that changes the dynamic of the relationship with your horse. And, it's not set up to stride length or anything here. These railroad ties are simply set up how they were left. And so he has to navigate his own footwork. He has to back up softly. I want him really light on the line here. I'm looking for him to lower his neck and head when I back him up and continue to step backward as I ask him to step over these. And I can make it as difficult or as easy as possible as I put him in these tight spaces. And right here, I really want to freeze frame and pause for a second, and let's appreciate how gentle this horse is. And Mac's taking one for the team here. This tells me a lot about this horse. Look at how gentle he is and really patient he is with this dog right up behind his hind feet there. He doesn't kick out at him. He just takes it and he backs up and the dog gets out of the way. This tells me a lot about this horse and how safe he's going to be with children. This is one of the ways that I vet them when I'm trying to figure out whether this horse is going to be safe as a family horse, because there are folks that I sell horses to that either have young kids or they have grandchildren that are going to be out with them while they're riding with their horse. And if this horse couldn't handle dogs all around him like that, this tells me a lot about their demeanor and their disposition and what they're going to be able to handle in the future in a new home. So one of the things I've been working on with the backup in hand is speeding it up and keeping it straight. And he ends up straddling this railroad tie, which actually makes for a perfect opportunity for him to side pass over it, but he's not there yet. He's not ready in his training yet. He couldn't side pass when I was riding him. I can't expect him to side pass when I'm walking him in hand. And I get a really nice side step over, and this is where I should have stopped right here. But instead I went to try to move the hind end over and I didn't get it. He just thought it meant to move forward. So I need to come back out here again and probably bring a long whip or a long stick or a flag to help tap that hip over. And I probably need to take him off the railroad ties, take him away from it and work on moving that hip over in hand with a stick by reaching out and just touching that hip. And then this last walk through here, It's really narrow, and I've been using this specific one because the way the railroad ties are set up, they're kind of like narrow at the very end, and I've been making horses back up through it, and the ones that kind of want to arc their body and not back up in a straight line, it's been helping keeping them straighter because they have to pay attention to it. If they don't, they're going to end up stepping on the railroad tie or kind of awkwardly, stepping into the next one over, and this is making him back up a lot straighter for me. Little games like this will improve your relationship and the responsiveness of your horse. My intention is that this inspires you to get out and walk your horse this winter even when you can't ride.